Multiple processor scheduling. If multiple CPUs are available, the scheduling problem becomes more complex. Two approaches asymmetric multiprocessing. The basic idea is a master server is a single processor responsible for all scheduling decisions, input output processing and other system activities. The other processors execute only user code. Advantage: this is simple because only one processor accesses the system data structures, reducing the need of data sharing. Now let us see symmetric multiprocessing. The basic idea is each processor is self-scheduling. To do scheduling, the scheduler for each processor examines the ready queue and selects a process to execute. Restriction: we must ensure that two processors do not choose the same process and that processes are not lost from the queue. Processor affinity: in SMP systems, migration of systems from one processor to another are avoided and instead processes are kept running on the same processor. This is known as processor affinity. Two forms: soft affinity. When an OS try to keep a process on one processor because of policy but cannot guarantee it will happen, it is possible for a processor to migrate between processors. Hard affinity: when an OS have the ability to allow a process to specify that it is not to migrate to other processors. Example: Solaris OS. Load balancing: this attempts to keep the workload evenly distributed across all processors in an SMP system. Two approaches: push migration: a specific task periodically checks the load on each processor and if it finds an imbalance, it evenly distributes the load to idle processors. Pull migration: an idle processor pulls a waiting task from a busy processor. Now let us see symmetric multithreading. The basic idea: create multiple logical processors on the same physical processor. Present a view of several logical processors to the OS. Each logical processor has its own architecture state which includes general purpose and machine state registers. Each logical processor is responsible for its own interrupt handling. SMT is a feature provided in hardware, not software. Now let us see thread scheduling. On OSs, it is kernel level threads but not processes that are being scheduled by the OS. User level threads are managed by a thread library and the kernel is unaware of them. To run on a CPU, user level threads must be mapped to an associated kernel level thread. Now let us see contention scope. Two approaches. Processor contention scope: on systems implementing the many-to-one and many-to-many models, the thread library schedules user level threads to run on an available LWP. Completion for the CPU takes place among threads belonging to the same process. System contention scope: the process of deciding which kernel thread to schedule on the CPU. Computation for the CPU takes place among all the threads in the system. System using the one-to-one model schedule threads using only SCS. Pthread scheduling. Pthread API that allows specifying either PCS and SCS during the declaration during thread creation. Pthreads identifies the following contention scope values. Pthread scope Scope J process schedules threads using PCS scheduling. Pthread scope system schedules thread using SCS scheduling. Pthread IPC provides the following two functions for getting and setting the contention scope policy. Pthread attribute sets set scope. Pthread attribute get scope. See the figure. Now let us see process synchronization. A cooperating process is one that can affect or be affected by other processes executing in the system. Cooperating processes can either directly share a logical address space, that is both code and data, or be allowed to share data only through files and messages. Concurrent access to shared data may result in data inconsistency. To maintain data consistency, various mechanisms is required to ensure the orderly execution of cooperating processes that share a logical address space. Now let us see procedure consumer problem. Producer consumer problem. A producer process produces information that is consumed by consumer process. To allow producer and consumer process to run concurrently, a bounded buffer can be used when the items are filled in a buffer by the producer and emptied by the consumer. The original solution allowed at most buffer size -1 item in the buffer at the same time. To overcome this deficiency, an integer variable counter initialized to 0 is added. Counter is incremented every time when a new item is added to the buffer and is decremented every time when one item removed from the buffer. The code for the producer process can be modified as follows. See the code. The code for consumer process can be seen as follows. Now let us see race condition. When the producer and the consumer routines shown above are correct separately, they may not function correctly when executed concurrently. Illustration. Suppose that the value of the variable counter is currently 5 and the producer and the consumer processes execute the statements counter plus plus and the counter minus minus concurrently. The value of the variable counter may be 5, 4, 5 or 6, but the only correct result is counter is equal to 5, which is generated correctly if the producer and the consumer execute separately. Here the value of counter may be incremented as shown below. The value of a counter may be incorrect as shown below. See the box. The concurrent execution of counter plus plus and counter minus minus is equivalent to a sequential execution in which the lower level statements presented previously are interleaved in some arbitrary order. On such interleaving is consider this execution interleaving with the count is equal to 5 initially. See here. Note, it is arrived at the incorrect state counter is equal to 4, indicating that 4 buffers are full when in fact 5 buffers are full. If we reserve the order of the statements at T4, T5, we would arrive at the incorrect state counter is equal to 6. Definition. Race condition. A situation where several processes access and manipulate the same data concurrently and the outcome of the execution depends on the particular order in which the access takes place is called a race condition. To guard against the race condition, ensure that only one process at a time can be manipulating the variable counter. To make such a guarantee, the processes are synchronized in some way. Now let us see the critical section problem. So consider a system consisting of n processes P0 to Pn-1. Each process has a segment of code called a critical section in which the process may be changing common variables, updating a table, writing a file, and so on. The important feature of the system is that when one process is executing in its critical section, no other process is to be allowed to execute in its critical section. That is, no two processes are executing in their critical sections at the same time. The critical section problem is to design a protocol that the processes can use to cooperate. The general structure of a typical process PI is as shown in the below figure. Each process must request permission to enter its critical section. The section of the code implementing this request is the entry section. The critical section may be followed by the exit section. The remaining code is the remainder section. See the figure. A solution to critical section problem must satisfy the following three requirements: mutual extension, mutual exclusion. If a process PI is executing in its critical section, then no other processes can be executing in their critical sections. Progress: if no process is executing in its critical section and some processes wish to enter their critical sections, then only those processes that are not executing in their remainder sections can participate in deciding which will enter its critical section next, and this selection cannot be postponed indefinitely. Third one is bounded waiting. There exists a bound or limit on the number of times that other processes are allowed to enter the critical sections after a process has made a request to enter its critical section and before that request is granted. Now let us see Peterson's solution. This is a classic software-based solution to the critical section problem. There are no guarantees that Peterson's solution will work correctly on modern computer architectures. Peterson's solution provides a good algorithmic description of solving the critical section problem and illustrates some of the complexities involved in designing software that addresses the requirements of the mutual exclusion, progress, and bounded waitings. Peterson's solution is restricted to two processes that alternate execution between their critical sections and remainder sections. The processes are numbered 0, P0, P0 and P1 are PI and PJ, where J is equal to 1 minus I. Peterson's solution requires the two processes to share two data items in turn Boolean flag of 2. Turn. The variable turn indicates whose turn it is to enter its critical section. Example: if turn is equal to I, then process PI is allowed to execute in its critical section. Flag. The flag array is used to indicate if a process is ready to enter its critical section. Example: if flag of I is true, this value indicates that PI is ready to enter its critical section. See the following code to enter the critical section. Process PI first sets flag of I to be true and then sets turn to the value J, and thereby asserting that if the other process wishes to enter the critical section, it can do so. If both processes try to enter at the same time, turn will be set to both I and J at roughly the same time. Only one of these assignments will last, the other will occur but will be overwritten immediately. The eventual value of turn determines which of the two processes is allowed to enter its critical section first. To prove that solution is correct, then we need to show that mutual exclusion is preserved, progress requirement is satisfied, bounded waiting requirement is met. To prove mutual exclusion, each PI enters its critical section only if either flag of J is equal to false and turn is equal to I. If both processes can be executing in their critical sections at the same time, then flag of 0 is equal to flag of 1 is equal to true. These two observations imply that PA and PJ could not have successfully executed their while statements at about the same time, since the value of the turn can be either 0 or 1 but cannot be both. Hence, one of the process PJ must have successfully executed the while statement, whereas PA had to execute at least one additional statement, turn is equal to J. However, at that time flag J is equal to true and turn is equal to J, and this condition will persist as long as PA is in its critical section. As a result, mutual exclusion is preserved. To prove progress and bounded waiting, a process PI can be prevented from entering the critical section only if it is stuck in the while loop with the condition flag J is equal to true and turn is equal to J. This loop is the only one possible. If PJ is not ready to enter the critical section, then flag J is equal to flag false and PI can enter its critical section. If PJ has set flag J true flag j is equal to true and is also executing in its while statement, then either turn is equal to I and turn is equal to j. If turn is equal to I, then pi will enter the critical section. If turn is equal to j, if turn is equal to I, the pi will enter the critical section. If turn is equal to j, the pj will enter the critical section. However, once pj exits its critical section, it will reset flag j is equal to false, allowing pi to enter its critical section. If pj resets flag j to true, it must also set turn to I. Thus, since pi does not change the value of the variable turn while executing the while statement, pi will enter the critical section progress after at most one entry by pj. Bounded waiting. Synchronization hardware. The solution to the critical section problem requires a simple tool lock. Race conditions are prevented by requiring that critical regions be protected by locks. That is, a process must acquire a lock before entering a critical section, and it releases the lock when it exits the critical section. See the code. The critical section problem could be solved simply in a uniprocessor environment if interrupts are prevented from occurring while a shared variable was being modified. In this manner, the current sequence of the instructions would be allowed to execute in order without preemption. No other instructions would be run, so no unexpected modifications could be made to shared variable. But this solution is not as feasible in a multiprocessor environment. Disabling interrupts on a multiprocessor can be time consuming as the message is passed to all the processors. This message passing delays entry into each critical section and the system efficiency decreases. Test and set and swap instructions. Many modern computer systems provide special hardware instructions that allow to test and modify the content of a word or to swap the contents of two words atomically. This that is as one interruptible unit. Uninterruptible unit. Special instructions such as test and set and swap instructions are used to solve the critical section problem. The test and set instruction can be defined as shown in the figure. The important characteristics of this instruction is that it is executed atomically. Thus, if two test and set instructions are executed simultaneously, they will be executed sequentially in some arbitrary order. If the machine supports the test and set instruction, then implementation of mutual exclusion can be done by declaring a Boolean variable lock initialized to false. See the code. The swap instruction operates on the contents of two words. It is defined as below. See the definition. Swap, it is executed atomically. If the machine supports the swap instruction, then mutual exclusion can be provided as follows. A global Boolean variable lock is declared and is initialized to false. In addition, each process has a local Boolean variable key. The structure of the process PA is as shown in the below. These algorithms satisfy the mutual exclusion requirement. They do not satisfy the bounded waiting requirement. Below algorithm using the test and set instruction that satisfies all the critical section requirements. The common data structure are Boolean waiting and Boolean lock. These data structures are initialized to the false. See the following code.